pleasure to present to you what we are doing in Merck in the sustainability of our supply chain. So I'm heading the glass, I'm working in procurement, and I'm heading the glass sourcing, which is everything which is related to cartridge, vials, syringes, and ampoules. And I'm also in charge of the sourcing of innovation for Merck Healthcare. And my colleague Fabien will present to you the...
I think I'm Michael as well. Hi everyone. My name is Fabien Thibault. I'm really happy to be here as well. I am working at Merck in corporate responsibility, where basically my role is to enhance product and packaging sustainability across our life science sector. So as Corinne, I'm really glad to be with you. I see so many people in the room. It's really good to see that you all are interested in learning more about sustainability.
So before to start the presentation, some key figures about Merck. We are 56,000 people in 66 countries. And those figures are from the fiscal year 2018. We had 14.8 billion euro in sales, and we invested 2.2 billion euro in research and development. But personally, what is really striking me in those figures is that we have been founded in 1668, which makes of Merck the oldest pharmaceutical and chemical company in the world. So I don't know how many of you knew about that. Can you raise your hand if you were aware of that? Okay, that's not a lot of people, so you already learned something. So about our corporate responsibility, we adapt, we align our strategy 2 years ago, more or less, to reflect a shared value, meaning that we centered more heavily on providing a long-lasting added value for not only Merck, but also the society. And we have 3 major spheres of activity. Under global health, you have everything we are doing to promote the access to health in country for people of low and middle income. And something interesting to mention is that we have been recognized 2 years ago in the Access to Medicine Index as the number 4 pharmaceutical company in this area to provide access to medicine. And I think this is really recognizing our work in terms of in the fight, for instance, for malaria, schistosomiasis, and all those kind of diseases in those countries. Then another sphere of activity is sustainable solutions. It's basically everything we do at Merck in our processes, in our projects, in our services to improve sustainability, and more about that in the presentation of Fabien for life science and in my presentation for healthcare. And the last sphere of activity is called broad minds. And this is something you are not going to see very often in corporate responsibilities reports. And this is something I'm really excited about, is that science is at the heart of everything we do at Merck. And we want by this strategy, this program, to excite people, and especially the young generation, about everything which is linked not only to medicine but to science. So we have a lot of projects and initiatives in this area to sparkle curiosity and enthusiasm around scientific topics. So now let's deep dive a little bit into our supply chain. And supply chain starts with our partners, our vendors, and there are some of them that I can see in the audience today. We, of course, in procurement, our policy is reflecting internal and external guidelines that you can see on the screen. And we want not only to apply those guidelines to ourselves, but also to our vendors and our partners. So we monitor through our supply chain that our partners are respecting those principles. We have different approaches, and those approaches are mostly based on risks. So we analyze the risks on the sales on the market, on the category of the product, and also on the risk associated with the country. And it's worth also mentioning that since 2014, Merck has joined TFS. TFS means Together for Sustainability, which is a joint program, a collaborative program, which was originally initiated by chemicals company, and within which we are sharing assessment and audits from our supplier base. So this is what we do in terms of procurement and monitoring of our supply chain. Then, if we jump into healthcare and packaging, we face several challenges, and I'm sure you are well aware that healthcare is highly regulated. Our main target remains to protect our patients, so we want to ensure efficient drug in a safely manner, so that will always stay our primary goal. But around that goal, we need also to investigate with respecting the GMP rules, the good manufacturing practices, to see how we can implement sustainable initiatives. And the downfall and the difficulty we are facing is that very often, because of this highly regulated market compared to other industries, we do have a lot of timing in terms of qualification. The costs are also more expensive, and we need to gather more resources. So in healthcare, we just started a new program around the sustainability of our packaging, which is called Pharmapack, and which is in 5 steps. The first one is to reduce the packaging material, then to maximize the recycling as much as we can, to investigate what we can reuse in terms of packaging, and also to consider alternative materials. And last but not least, and you're going to see some example of those 5 steps in the project in a few minutes, it's very important to partner with our suppliers to leverage synergies, because not only we do have some ideas around sustainability, but our partners also have some programs and some ideas we can benefit from. So in the coming slides, I will present to you some of the projects we have been implementing. Some of them are ongoing. Some of them have already been implemented within Merck Healthcare. And we're going to tackle the 3 different types of packaging: tertiary packaging, secondary packaging, and also some of the projects we do around primary packaging. So starting with tertiary packaging, in Italy, we used to have this plastic blue pallet, which was made of 100% virgin fiber, pure fibers. And after analyzing, and the person who lead that project is in my team, and he's there, Mirko Giacinto. So if you have any questions, you can ask him directly. There was a thorough analysis to try to understand what was really needed. Do we need this type of pallets, or can we go for specifications with less constraints? Because very often in healthcare, we over-specify, we over-dimension, because we want to be on the safe side, but sometimes it's not needed, and that was the case here. So we switched to an in-colored pallet, which was made of 70% of recycled material. In US, this is a new project. So this is in place. This is a new project which is fully validated and that we are introducing. It's the shippers for the US market and the Canadian market, where historically we used to have an insulated box made of styrofoam. And as you know, styrofoam is very difficult to break down, very long to break down. And when you burn it, for instance, for disposal, it can be leading to some air pollution and some health concerns. So we decided to switch to a fully paper isolated box, which is completely recyclable. So this is for the US market, but we think also about implementing that in other area of geographical area. Another project I wanted to show you, because I think in terms of secondary packaging, it's probably one of the major projects we have right now in Merck Healthcare, and it's called, you don't see the name on the slide, but it's called SlimPack internally. And it's a project which is targeting the fertility box, so the injectors which are in those folding boxes. And we found a way to reduce those folding boxes by 40%. So this is an improvement in several different areas, and especially for our patients, because as you know, those fertility box goes in a fridge to be stored. So the less space we are using, the best it is for the consumer. And in terms of packaging material, we reduce the type of, the quantity of material we are using. We are not using any more plastic tray inside. To put the injectors, there was some plastic tray, so we remove completely plastic in the new box. And also something I wanted to mention is that when you talk about sustainability project, a lot of people are going to say, yes, this is nice, but it costs a lot. And this is not always the case. In this case, with this project, we are going to save a lot of money by reducing the space. So in terms of shipping, there will be more box by truck. And we're also going to improve our internal process by removing the thermoforming machines, for instance. And of course, there will be an impact on the CO2 emissions. So this is a project which is investigated for different of our fertility drugs. And I'm really looking forward to the next steps. Then around primary packaging, starting from the top, we have this exciting project, and this is an example of something we have been doing in partnership with one of our vendors, which approached us a few months ago and asked us, we are investigating the reuse of the nest where we are putting the syringes, where they are sending the syringes to us. Would you be interested to investigate that with us? And we say, of course, we want to partner with you to see if this is feasible. Before you ask questions about this project in terms of sterility, in terms of how many times the nest is going to be reused, I need to tell you that it's a specific setup because the vendor is located very close from our manufacturing site. So in terms of loop and the reusing of the nest, it's going to be very easy to do because they are less than 1 hour away from our manufacturing facility. So this is in Mexico, and this is also somebody in my team, Rodolfo Arias, who is leading this project. This is another interesting initiative which is already in place in Germany, in Darmstadt, and which is showing that you don't have to have major projects or to run a lot of analysis. Simply with this initiative, we are using the trays in which the supplier is sending us the vials. We are reusing it in different steps of our process, of our manufacturing process. So we don't have a new packaging. We reuse from the beginning to the end, from one station to the other station, the same packaging than the supplier used to send us those vials. So here again, there is somebody in my team which is in the room, and if you have any question, you can ask Annette Elmer about this. Then you have the device tray, which is a project under investigation in Aubonne and Bari. And the idea was to change the material of the tray because today this material is not recyclable. And we want to ask our partners to change the material to make it able to be recycled. And this is a project which is led by EHS. And Nathalie Badawi, which is with us today, also is leading this project for Aubonne in Switzerland and Bari in Italy. And last but not least, last November, we ran a workshop in our connected health and medical devices team. And the objective of the workshop was really to investigate, look for new ideas, everything we can do in the sustainability of our devices. And we found out three projects, three interesting projects. Fortunately, it's a bit too soon to share them with you here. But if this is successfully implemented, that will also show that you can be sustainable, but also very innovative, because this is something which has not been done yet on the market. And now I would like to, without further ado, to hand over to my colleague.
Thank you. Okay, so Corinne told you about great initiative for our healthcare sector, and now I would like to give you an overview of what we do in our life science sector to increase sustainability of our packaging. So in our life science industry, packaging is also quite a challenge. We have products that have sterility requirements. We have fragile products, but we have also products that are dangerous or temperature sensitive. And all these requirements leads to more packaging, to more resources, and at the end of the day, it creates waste disposal challenge for our customer notably. And to add to our packaging complexity is the size of our business. In fact, we have a portfolio of about 300,000 products that we manufacture in 60 sites and that we distribute worldwide through 130 distribution centers. So packaging is a challenge, but when we see the global environmental challenges that we are facing, we are all aware that the resources of the Earth are limited. And so as a leading science and technology company, it's really our responsibility to be able to use them more responsibly. In addition to that, sustainability is also a growing area of concern for our customers. Our customers want to work with vendors who can help them meet their own sustainability targets. And guess what they challenge first? The packaging. In fact, even if the packaging has generally a lower environmental impact compared to the other stages of the life cycle, it's one of the most visible and tangible impacts for them. So this shows how important it is for the protection and the development of our business to be able to formalize our approach for improving the sustainability of our packaging. And formalizing our approach is also key in order to be able to manage costs, notably by completing projects that result in cost saving in order to be able to invest in more costly projects. That's why we decided to develop and implement a comprehensive packaging sustainability plan that we call SMASH packaging. So I don't have the time to explain into details the process we went through to develop this program, but I would like to insist on one key aspect, which was alignment. In fact, we have quite a complex organization, and packaging is almost everywhere. So for us, it was really crucial to involve as early as possible our key internal stakeholders in order to align with them so that they can feel really comfortable with all the elements of the plan so that they can then become really advocates for it. So how our plan is structured? So the SMASH packaging plan is based on 3 pillars: optimize resources, more sustainable material, and design for circular economy. To support these 3 pillars, we set 4 key goals to shrink, secure, switch, and save packaging without affecting the performances or the quality of our packaging. So with our shrink goal, our aim is to avoid the use of packaging material that is excessive in size or weight because it unnecessarily increases packaging-related costs for us and for our customers. With our secure goal, our aim is to demonstrate that the wood and fiber-based material that we use to pack and ship our product to our customer do not contribute to deforestation. With our switch goal, our aim is to improve the sustainability of plastic material used in packaging application. And last but not least, with our safe goal, our aim is to maximize recycling of our packaging. And so to drive improvement for all these goals, we set specific 2022 targets that address both the development of new product packaging but also the improvement of existing product and distribution packaging. So new product packaging is where we can have the biggest impact. So here our approach consists of implementing new sustainability standards with specific guidelines that our development team, including R&D, sourcing, packaging group, distribution, will apply in order to develop more sustainable packaging for our products. And we will assess the sustainability characteristic of this new product packaging through our sustainability scorecard that is part of our product development process. In order to improve existing product and distribution packaging, our approach is to conduct specific initiatives in collaboration with our internal stakeholders. For each specific initiative, we have a working group who is in charge of defining and implementing the specific improvement plan and then to measure important metrics. So we officially launched this plan in April 2019, so it's quite a new plan, and it's quite an exciting journey that we are beginning. And I would like to give you already a few examples of how of our action in order to make improvement in the sustainability of our packaging. So to start with how we reduce amount of packaging. We are notably looking at investigating opportunities to optimize product packaging design, but also to develop alternative solutions for our products, for the packaging of our products. And we do that in close collaboration with our vendors, but also directly with our customers. For example, we collaborated with a biotech company in order to develop a bulk packaging solution for one of our products. So the one in the middle of the screen. Instead of having the product individually packaged, with the bulk packaging solution, we have 27 units of this product packaged together on a pallet. This results in a reduction of 24% of the amount of packaging per unit. But it also results in a huge reduction of the time required to unpack the product for our customer. And this was really an important issue for this customer. So in parallel of that, we are also looking at optimizing our packing practices in distribution. And we are focusing on reducing airspace in our distribution boxes because this leads to higher packaging consumption, higher shipment cost, and then more waste and more cost to dispose of this waste for our customers. So one good example is a project that was led by our distribution group in our Strasbourg distribution center. They partnered with our box vendor in order to redefine the range of distribution boxes that we use in this center. They conducted an analysis of our shipment data, and our partner came with new dimensions for our boxes. And this resulted in a reduction of 17% of the airspace in our distribution boxes, and so a reduction of our consumption of packaging. So in order to move toward our target of zero deforestation, our plan is to first make sure that we are working with vendors who have responsible sourcing practices, but also to increase our use of certified materials and use of recycled content. In 2019, we conducted our first deforestation survey. So basically, we collected information on the sourcing practices of our vendors and on the sustainability characteristic of our packaging materials, so wood and fiber-based packaging materials. And thanks to this survey, we were able to measure important metrics, but also to identify risk and opportunities for improvement. For example, we identify that we have some of our main vendors who own sustainable forestry certification, such as FSC, for example, but they do not supply certified materials to us. So in the next year, we will continue to work closely with our vendor in order to improve, and we will continue to survey our supply chain in order to measure our metrics and track our progress. So concerning the improvement of the sustainability of plastics used in packaging application, our plan is notably to investigate opportunities to replace traditional plastic by plastic with lower environmental impact. It can be introducing recycled content, it can be bio-based plastic, or also alternative materials. And in fact, we have a specific target related to the reduction of our use of expanded polystyrene, so EPS, by 20% by 2022. And so in our life science business, our two main applications for EPS are glass bottle insert and cold chain shipment. Concerning our glass bottle insert, we have worked for several years on projects to replace EPS by alternative solutions such as molded pulp, as you can see on the screen, but also hexacomb or potentially corrugated insert. With the project we already achieved, we avoid every year more than 2 million EPS inserts, and we have several projects that are in progress, notably for our single unit package. Concerning cold chain shipment, we are investigating a solution to replace EPS as in the healthcare sector. And in 2019, we identified and tested a solution that is certified recyclable with corrugated material, which would be a really important change for our customers who cannot recycle currently the EPS coolers. So we are about to start a pilot implementation in one of our distribution centers in the United States, and we will continue to work on that topic in order to deploy this type of solution more broadly. And finally, concerning the maximization of recycling of our packaging, we are notably focusing on three aspects. First one is to avoid the use of materials or techniques that are not compatible with recycling. And through our deforestation survey, we notably identify our fiber-based packaging materials that are not recyclable. And so we will work on replacement project in the near future for this identified packaging. Second aspect is to provide better guidance to our customer about how to recycle or to dispose of our packaging material more responsibly. And last but not least, we are also investigating opportunities to develop a program to reuse our packaging, as it is the case, for example, for our stainless steel containers, or also our cooler return program in the US that allows to avoid manufacturing and disposal of about 14,000 EPS coolers every year. So that's it for this quick overview of our Smash packaging plan. Of course, there will be a lot more examples to share in the future as we continue to drive improvement in the sustainability of our packaging. So Corinne and I invite you to consult our website, so on merckgroup.com, or to come back to us with any question you may have. Thank you.